all kinds of appropriate biblical texts come leaping to mind tonight. For example, exactly 30 years ago, I stood up at our annual Purim party at the Temple Mishkan Tefillah in Boston and sang the Megillah right from the beginning to the end. Still remember it. Vayahi bimei Achashverosh hu Achashverosh. And one thing in all that I never forgot is this passage from that thrilling novel, the Book of Esther, and I've brought it along because I want to read it to you. It says, "So Haman came in, and the king said to him, 'What shall be done with the man whom the king desireth to honor?' And Haman said in his heart, 'To whom would the king desire to do honor more than to myself?' Therefore said Haman to the king, 'For the man whom the king desireth to honor, let them bring a royal apparel which the king hath worn, and a horse on which the king hath ridden, and let there be placed a royal crown upon his head, and let the apparel and the horse be given into the hand of one of the king's princes, of the most noble, that they may array the man whom the king desireth to honor, and let them cause him to ride on the horse through the streets of the city, and proclaim before him, Thus shall be done to the man whom the king desireth to honor.' Then said the king to Haman, 'Make haste, take the apparel and the horse, as thou hast spoken, and do thus to Mordecai the Jew, that sitteth in the king's gate. Leave out nothing of all that thou hast spoken.' And Haman then took the apparel and the horse, and arrayed Mordecai, and caused him to ride through the streets of the city, and proclaimed before him, Thus shall be done to the man whom the king desireth to honor. And Mordecai thereupon returned to the king's gate. But Haman hastened to his house, mourning and having his head covered." It's a wonderful and exciting passage, and a beautifully ironic variant on the theme of doing honor to a man. But what impresses me most of all is that last line, "And Mordecai thereupon returned to the king's gate." You see, that was Mordecai, a little exiled Jew sitting in the king's gate, waiting and hoping for something good to happen to him and his people. And here am I, like Mordecai, feeling the strangeness of royal apparel, the king's horse, the crown, being honored. But ultimately, I am only little old Mordecai, who goes back after all the shouting has died down to sit and hope in the king's gate. In some very important part of me, I guess I will always be that exiled, frightened little boy of 10, singing the Megillah and praying for a chance to make music in my lifetime.